everyone, what's up? Thanks for hanging out with me. You're listening to your guy, Jonathan Mathis, the sports judge. Great to see you all. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we had some big games this weekend, some great games. It is the Colts Chiefs game I want to talk about. That's a game I was curious to see. It was a game that meant everything, obviously, for the Kansas City Chiefs. Your season is on life support. Your season is on the line. You're fighting to keep the dream alive. The game at Arrowhead on Sunday, home game against the Colts, had a playoff feel to it. Win or go home, do or die. Their backs are against the wall. And when they needed a win, they not only picked up a much needed win, but erased a 29 deficit and won 23-20 in overtime. Just when you think they're down and out, they pull themselves back in. The comeback Chiefs take care of business at home, and for the most part, I have to say, hey, that was an absolutely great second half for the Chiefs. You know, it's been rough. It's been a tough year. And for once, I can say to some degree, the Chiefs looked like the Chiefs. Now, I want to make this real clear. I'm not saying they're about to go on a masterclass of a run and all that. I'm not going to say they're all the way back. We don't judge them just on that one game. However, Steve Spagnuolo and his defense, along with Kareem Hunt and a Rashee Rice fourth quarter resurge, saved the Chiefs' playoff hopes. Look, really impressive. The Chiefs' defense yesterday was better than it has been all year. One of the things I thought they did well in this game that they haven't really done well is they ran the ball. Kareem Hunt, 30 for over 100 yards. He gets the touchdown. And you are seeing the reason they're never counted out. This is exactly why folks don't drink the hate Kool-Aid and bet and never bet against them. This may upset some of you, but I don't know. I mean, in terms of how much the Chiefs are talked about, all the good feelings you get rooting for them, or feelings of the past, maybe you hate this team with a passion, maybe it's fatigue, whatever it is, I still don't think with the way this season has gone that we will hear much about them in January. It's been one of those years where everything seemed to bounce the wrong way. It's a reverse of last season, the total opposite, where they've just had way too many misadventures and too many misfortunes, too many different ideas, a lack of creativity, questionable play calling, poor execution, a struggling quarterback, an inability to win one-score games, which is something they've done so well last season. And, you know, it's covered up by the fact that they had the playoff run a year ago and another Super Bowl appearance. But even to get to the marquee event and get destroyed like that against the Eagles, that's unbelievable. They went to the Super Bowl and then the bottom really fell out and it was just a broken Chiefs team since. And it's more impressive to me how the football gods may still be on their side after all. I still say many teams have been able to figure out the Chiefs' Rubik's Cube. I mean, you study this thing, and it just feels as if the rest of the league got it figured out. I mean, you think about it. For most of the season, Mahomes has been pretty bad. Lost in all the nonsense is that Mahomes, these last 3 games, have easily been the worst of his career. From bad ball placement to terrible game costing mistakes, he looks completely out of it. That seems almost impossible considering the image of who Patrick Mahomes is supposed to be. Folks, say it out loud. The season is over for the Kansas City Chiefs. I know they won the game on Sunday, and even though the season's still alive, I just don't think they make it to the playoffs. Mahomes is a famous athlete. Travis Kelce's married to a pop star legend. Many fans think the dynasty is over, including myself. Mahomes is having a terrible year, has never been worse. And, oh, by the way, he had to be bailed out by Spags and his defense. It's fascinating. It's amazing how the Chiefs find a way, whether it's defense stepping up, whether it is help from the officiating, whatever it is. This time, he can write a thank you letter to his guys who had his back out there playing defense. The Chiefs went from, a non-competitive team to a playoff contender to now, all of a sudden, a Super Bowl contender in 1 week. That's crazy. I'm not buying that. I don't think they're going to reach the playoffs. Why? Because, well, for one, I don't think Patrick Mahomes, I don't think he's that great. But we all love to say we can't ever count out the Chiefs because of who they have as their quarterback. There's a lot of people that absolutely believe the Chiefs are going to win out the rest of their games. I don't. Let's see who's right. We'll soon find out, will we? And I've said this early in the season that I just feel like it's different. It's just not the same Chiefs team. I mean, Chiefs games are ugly. They're kind of interesting. They got massive ratings for different reasons. I said it in a previous video. I think it's a very boring football team. You can't tell me it's an exciting, fun football team. I would be shocked if this Chiefs team somehow gets to the playoffs. And again, I'll just say it for everyone out there that will listen. Mahomes just doesn't have it this year, folks. The stats tell the story. We're watching the Kansas City Chiefs fight for their lives. That is fascinating. I mean, Sunday, with that game, my honest feeling was that the Chiefs were going to lose. Fall to 5-6 on the season. I thought this was the end of Kansas City. If the Chiefs lose that game, it's most likely a wrap for them. The fact Kansas City won is interesting. It really does make things more interesting now. That doesn't mean they'll make the playoffs. That just means they're still alive. If you told me the Chiefs would be where they currently are now, a team needing just about every win to get back to the playoffs, I would believe you just going based off last season. I said it all season, and I've been a huge critic of the Kansas City Chiefs. They're not as good as you think. Somebody on social media this morning commented on one of my posts. I'm assuming a Chiefs fan. Some guy left a comment that I owe an apology to the Chiefs. For what? What the hell do I owe them an apology for? An apology? I don't owe them anything. It was a must win, a must have win for Kansas City. They're still outside looking in, even with a 6-5 record now. People need to realize if they lose one more game, a rough stretch turns into a full-blown crisis. I'll say right about now, even with a win on Sunday, the Chiefs are still fighting for their lives. I don't know, man. You fall to 5-6, your season is over. Even after this win, they are still in trouble. They still may not make the playoffs. It's astounding to think the Chiefs are in unfamiliar territory and could be on the outside looking in when it's all said and done, even though they won on Sunday. It may not turn out well for the Chiefs. I have questions about Mahomes. I know he's this MVP quarterback. I get all that. But I still have my concerns. I don't think he's as efficient as in years past. And I'll say this about Mahomes. If he doesn't get back to playing at the level we know he's capable of, then who knows what can happen and how far this team can go. I would say that the Colts with Ward, with Kenny Moore, with now Sauce Gardner, have the best secondary. And during the first half of that game, they shut them down. Sauce was all over Rice. Really didn't let him do much of anything. And for the Chiefs, they weren't getting anything going. I mean, I thought they were buried. It's 21-9, Colts, fourth quarter. I'm like, oh, come on. No way the Chiefs are coming back from this. And what happens? They made some adjustments in the game, right? When they started moving Rashee Rice in motion, started getting him going and more involved, especially in the fourth quarter and overtime, he found his game. He found his rhythm. They started to make plays, and Mahomes did what he does. I think that was the difference in the second half. And then, of course, the defense. And all of a sudden, it's the Chiefs chipping away, slowly cutting into the deficit, making things interesting. It's a fierce defense, and it's the run game, and it's no quit, and it's true resilience. Kansas City comes back to snatch it from the Indianapolis Colts. A lot of that win was the Chiefs' defense. We're so used to seeing the Chiefs find ways to win. Nothing this team's done makes you feel as though that's the case. Patrick Mahomes talked about how, hey, we used to win these close games. Now we're not. We're not making the big plays necessary. I think they may, feel as though they still have a chance. I think we feel as though we saw that vibe come back yesterday for the Chiefs. Rashee Rice making big plays when they were needed out there with that hamstring injury. Indy's coach, Shane Steichen, who I really like, by the way, has been tempted to get cute with his offense, and nobody can quite understand why when he and the Colts are fortunate enough to have arguably the best running back out there in Jonathan Taylor. So it was also more of what the Colts didn't do well. But what we saw, particularly in that second half, was a Chiefs defense that really played their asses off. Those guys on that side of the ball stepped up every time they needed to make a stand. And that's probably why Steichen went away from Jonathan Taylor. And so credit to Steve Spagnuolo and the Chiefs defense for making Jones uncomfortable. It was a commitment by Kansas City to stop the run. We're not going to let Jonathan Taylor beat us. It was a big game for the Chiefs. I felt like the Colts were in control and probably should have won this game. It was a big game for them to prove they belong. And the way they started that game, I thought they would run away with it or at least hold on to get the win. And no matter how great things have been for the Colts, the run never got going for them. Jonathan Taylor didn't get anything going. I don't think there's any question that if the Colts don't establish the run game early, that it is the burden on the quarterback. And then it becomes a story of Daniel Jones. He had to make every single play in the second half. It was a huge win for the Chiefs against arguably the best team in the AFC. They've been as good as anybody all year long. They got down early, but the Chiefs offense, they played into it as well. It felt like in the fourth quarter of that game, Mahomes was finally trusting his pocket and the offense was flowing. It's like once they were getting that man-to-man coverage, Andy Reid was dialing it up. It was crossers. It was chasing guys across the field, and Mahomes found his guys and made plays when it was time to make plays. The Chiefs, they had the ball for over 40 minutes and did a good job of keeping the ball away from the Colts on offense, limiting their opportunities. Major shout out to Chris Jones and Spags defense for coming up big for the Chiefs, lights out in the fourth quarter, and shutting down Taylor was huge. An elite showing from the defense on a day the Chiefs needed everything they could, to save their season. Everybody gets credit for this. I'll say this. One great game doesn't define your season. One bad game doesn't either. But a few bad games, for me anyway, I have a hard time believing that what we saw from the Chiefs on Sunday is enough to get them into the playoffs. I just can't see them making it to the playoffs this year. All right, everybody. That's all I have for you guys. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. I'll be back with more great content. I want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Dallas Cowboys have gotten better since the trades. I want to talk a little bit about that. Is that just me, or did this team get a little bit better after some of the moves they made to improve their roster? All of a sudden, you're seeing a Dallas Cowboys team that can stop the run. We didn't see that before. So I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to get into that. And we'll get into more NFL football for sure throughout the day. But guys, you guys take care of yourselves for now. I'll be back with more great content. You guys know where to find me on YouTube. Check out the YouTube channel, The Sports Judge. Check me out on TikTok as well, The Sports Judge 85, and Instagram, Sports Judge 85. All right, guys, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Appreciate y'all. We'll be talking again very, very soon.